Hello everybody, back here again for another vlog a day. And today is Monday the 11th, and today was a lovely, beautiful day to be alive. Got up this morning earlier than I like, but it wasn't too bad. Got up, got the dog out, had to get bird leaks, had a couple new dogs getting dropped off for the first time today. They got dropped off, they were supposed to get dropped off by 6 a.m. Got pushed back to about 7:05, so it is what it is. So it could be worse. Yeah, so that was interesting in that process, but I kind of put up with it because a lot of times when they're dropping off like that, I require them to drop off the night before, like before they leave, like that. Because they're leaving super early to the airport, I'll make them drop off the night before. You know, we're out with these new dogs, and where the trial is going to go, and because it's drop off so early and picking up so late, their last day, I'm already getting paid for the full stay anyway. So whether they're here or not, I'm getting paid for it, and I figure it's easier with new ones I've never had here before to have them here all day long to get them used to the place than it would be to have them drop them off late evening on their first visit and then try to go to bed. So the dogs are nervous and scared of new areas, so this way I can help tuck them out myself, at least hopefully, and they'll sleep better at night. So who knows? But we got dropped off, went ahead and stuck the other dog that I have, left him out in the backyard, got the dogs in, basically met the lady out front, came in, set the dogs in, started handing off stuff, so she'd carry stuff to me, which kind of annoying. I'd rather just make a pile and I'll come pick it up kind of thing, as opposed to trying to hand it to me like midway. Wife tries to do it with my groceries and stuff all the time, and I can never get my grip where I want it on the stuff, like just put it down or leave it where it's at and I'll go do the entire move myself, whatever it is. So yeah, so I went ahead and swapped out the stuff, and then I'd already turned the dogs loose in the house, just still on the leash, but just kind of got them past the gate and let them run around the house and that, and then headed back out with the last load of stuff. And she handed it to me, and I was like, well, you know, come in? She goes, no, she goes, I'm good, I'm gonna head off to the airport. And I'm like, okay. So we talked for a couple moments and coming over the last little bit of things and whatnot, and she had the food separated out by the days and left me one whole extra day of food, which I always hope her bring extra food in case something comes up, because you never know. And they're going to Europe, and there's a good chance, and their flights stand by too, so there's a good chance their flights might get delayed getting back, but who knows. So yeah, we'll see what that is, but hopefully we can get that done and it'll all work out. So, but yeah, I figure worst case scenario, I have their food, just makes the dogs' bellies rumble. So apparently they think a lot of extra food is one extra day, but I'm always more like, just bring me the bag of food and tell me how many cups or scoops or whatever it is per meal and how many meals per day, and we'll call it even. But got the dogs in there, and I knew sometimes they get to fight with each other and stuff. The one gets super jealous of the other, what we talked about, and then the one doesn't like other dogs. So I was like, we'll just keep them apart from the big dog today, not worry about it. So went ahead, and once I got all their stuff inside, and they have their crates and beds and toys and food and everything, got it all inside, got the dogs running a little bit. They were excited to see my wife, which they hadn't met before, so they're pretty excited about that, and she's their adorable little dog, so she gave them some good pettings. So I brought the big dog inside, let the little dogs out, have a run in the yard, went out again, checked the fence line one last time just to make sure, because I got a little dog. And my fence, I got a secondary fence, so I didn't think I got through it. They still have to get past my already secured fence, but I'm not certain if they could get through that one or not, because the little ones might be able to fit, because it's a hog panel type setup of fence. So I ran some chicken wire along it as well to kind of act as a secondary barrier, although the two little ones definitely don't want to get out of your sight very far. They're a little Velcro-y kind of thing. So, but yeah, we hung out there off and on, rotated the dogs in and out, and they were perfectly good inside, really good outside. Wanted to be near you, wanted to sit on your lap, that kind of thing. Wanted to lay next to your legs on a footstool. All the good fun there. Rotated the big dog in and out, and everything's going good. Had another dog getting dropped off for daycare, so I put the two littles up, and I put them in the office where I set their crates up, and got the Doberman in for the daycare. Let him out in the backyard, had the big dog in the bedroom, let the big dog out and let them play and wrestle and fight, and holy crap, had the time of their damn life. They're just having all the fun they can possibly have. So they've met each other before, they've been together before, no big deal at all. So yeah, I went ahead from there, basically rotated them in and out for the little dogs with the two big dogs, and just spent time in and out. And I have a camera set up in the living room, so I looked at the cameras when I was outside the little dogs, and I just put the big dogs in like 2 minutes earlier. I wondered if they were settling down yet, is what my thought was. And I laughed because I legitimately, it'd been 2.5, 3 minutes maybe, and I looked at the cameras and they were both zonked out, like flat out on the ground. I'm like, holy crap, thank God we're playing inside, we can rest, because outside they were playing so hard, it was really whooping them out. So I had a good little chuckle in my heart about that. But from there, just did that, I don't know, 5, 6 times a day. I just kept that rolling through, rotating them in and out. Excuse me. Went ahead and had taken my father-in-law up to the doctor today. He'd reached out. I reached out earlier, telling him I wanted to leave. And then much later, he reached out and asked me to come over early because he has oxygen bottle they take with him now because he has on oxygen. Apparently hasn't needed as much since they stopped vaping all the weed, but it seems like when he was vaping weed all the time, his oxygen levels kept dropping real low, but who knows. So, but wife wanted to take the bottle with him, and he never, let's wait till like, I don't know, an hour before the appointment I had to leave for to even try and see how this shit works. So didn't know how to make it work, so I had to go over and set that up. He's like, come over early and make sure this works. I'm like, well, I don't know if that means 5 minutes or 5 hours. Like, how long does it take to set it up? I don't know if to charge the bottle. I don't know anything about it. So I head over there way early, well, like an hour early. But I go over there, I get it figured out. And he's like, is there any air coming out? I'm like, just put it in your damn nose. That's what it's supposed to do. He's putting his thumb on it. I'm like, okay, what the fuck? And I realized he hasn't had his nose yet, so I put my thumb on it. So anyway, I put my thumbs on, shit, he had his nose on. So I'm like, there's air coming out of it, so we're good. So I had to adjust it. He had it set wrong. We had a tool turned on, blah, blah, whatever. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to go back over and take care of more dogs again. But so, you know, we're not leaving right now. I didn't come over early. But then I had other stuff. I already put the dogs up to even go check on it. So I was like, let's just go ahead and take off early. So we ended up leaving a little, or about 15 minutes earlier than I normally would have left, which is already early anyway, but it is what it is. So I had the two little ones in the office, the big dog in the bedroom, and then took the daycare with me because he loves car rides. He likes going to the doctor's appointments also because he likes to meet everybody who's wandering around waiting for appointment stuff. He loves to get all the pets and stuff, and he's really good about not being like super jumpy and stuff on people, so it works out real well. So plus it feels weird to have somebody pay me to watch the dog for daycare and then leave it home alone, so I'm not doing that shit. But also this way I have the big dog in the master bedroom, the other dog's in the office, so there's two separate doors they gotta go through in order to be a problem for if they would decide they wanted to get up to honoring us kind of thing. So if I had the Doberman still there, I would have to either shut him and the big dog together or separate that one in the living room, and you only have one door at any time. So it's amazing how dogs are less likely to scratch at doors and whatnot if there's not another dog on the other side of that door. If there's a dog right on the other side of the door, often they will get a little more likely to scratch the door and cause you problems. So I just eliminate that process. But go over and get my father-in-law, get him in the car. He whines and complains about carrying the oxygen tank and doesn't even have it hooked up. He has a little O2 sensor on his finger that he keeps checking off and on to see if he needs the tank or not. But so we get up to the doctor's office and then drop him off. I run over and fill my tank up with gas, then head back to the doctor's office and basically get out. I didn't use the oxygen all the way up there, but I'm not gonna have a cigar in the car when he's got oxygen possibly on, so I don't know if he knows how to turn it off and turn it on correctly. So I'm not smoking cigars next to an oxygen tank. I can't imagine that's safe. But went ahead, said held it, had a cigar while I was waiting, which unfortunately I waited long enough to go through an entire Drew Estates 50 ring gauge cigar. So yeah, it takes way too long in this place. Sometimes it's been like twice it took 15 minutes, and that's what it should take, but it's almost always hour and a half, 2 hours. Like, it is the worst. And literally it's just, do you still want your morphine? Do you still want your weed? Okay, here you go away. Like, it's so bullshit. Why it's not done by telemedicine, I don't know. It's absolutely ridiculous on so many levels. So then he whined about how long he needs to find a doctor closer to him and stuff because it's such a long drive. I'm like, dude, you're the one sitting there. And then he even said something about it because I really miss driving, which we took away his right to drive a while back because he was abusing morphine and got in a bunch of wrecks, and he was making really bad, dumb decisions, and we weren't gonna allow him to put people at risk anymore. So we took away his car, and then eventually he lost his license because he had to take a driving test to get it redone, and he was more concerned. We didn't have time to get that done, but he had to get it updated to get his weed card. So he gave up on the license to get his weed card. So he'd rather have weed than he would a driver's license, but whatever. So he was like, no, what we were doing was driving. At that time, somebody cuts me off and almost slams into us. And I had to summon that brake. I'm like, well, it ain't always fun, so what the hell. But we got done at the appointment. Dog and I are done. We had a good time. Got back, drove home, dropped him off at the house, and then I'll pull up in the driveway at his place, drop him off so I can go park the car. I look out and I'm like, why the fuck's he almost in the street? Like, what the hell? He decided to walk down to the mailbox to check his mail or whatever. I'm like, you could have told me that shit. I could have parked in my regular spot instead of backing up in to your place and then have you walk down the hill. Like, what would have saved you actually? That's the time, but hey, what the hell? So yeah, it is what it is. He thought he lost his hat at the doctor's appointment. I said, you didn't come out with one. So he left it in the doctor's office. I went, no, because I know they didn't have one when you walked out. He's like, oh my God, it's my Beatles hat. I'm like, okay. Looks down, it's on the floorboard. He just put it on the floor of the car. I assume he got out to go to the doctor's office. So I'm like, holy crap. So he goes, oh, at least I got my hat back. I'm like, okay. So he headed in. I took the dog, went over, got the two big dogs out playing. Got inside, got the little dogs out, let them run around the living room a little bit. Then brought the big dogs back in, the little ones out. We rotated them through a few times. And then reached out to the daycare owner and let her know that I was home from the doctor's appointment and she can pick them up whatever she wants. And she, a little later, texts back, great, I'll pick him up this time. And then we basically hung around. She came and grabbed him. I went ahead from there and headed out, got my run in, got back. Actually, before the run, I was waiting to get the dog back. I decided to go ahead and prep my pork chop dinner. So I'm gonna crush up a bunch of potato chips. It was like a pinto brain. And use Duke's mayo to act as a binder, and then coated my pork chops in mayo, Duke's mayo, and then, or Duke's mayonnaise, we're gonna call it. No, yeah, mayo mayonnaise, because Miracle Whip is not mayo, but anyway, actual Duke's. Rolled it into chips, and then basically chucked it in the pan and put a little brown sugar on it, bunch of garlic, bunch of onion powder, and something else I put on it too. I don't remember, but chucked it in the fridge so it'd be ready to go whenever I got back from my run. My wife was heading home for work. I had a meet and greet scheduled tonight for 6:30. They'd reached out right about, not sure if it was before or after they picked up the daycare, but right about that time, and basically asked if they could do it on Wednesday instead. And I'm like, well, let me check, but I believe I can. So I reached out to my wife, let her know that I didn't have a meet and greet tonight in case she wanted to work later. And she was like, cool, I'll let you know when I head home. And then I went for my run, got back from my run, she got home, and like she said she's heading home. Shortly after that, I went for a run, met her out on the street as I was running north. She was driving south, and told her where the dogs are, here's what's at, whatever. And she's like, cool. Got home from my run, chucked my pork chops in the oven, and jumped in the shower. After that, jumped out, had some sweet potato fries in the air fryer to go with our pork chops, and then watched a little bit of Young Sheldon. We chatted a little bit, talked about her day and how things went, and filled her in about her dad and all his wonderfulness. So yeah, so I went ahead and there. Also, I did forget to tell her about the door. He had the door unlatched, but not even shut. Like, just like the springs, I got springs on the hinges, it's just like holding the spring shut. I'm like, a heavy wind will blow your door open. She's like, yeah, but that way, when I leave, it's already open. I'm like, you can't turn the knob? Like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, that door flows open, your cat could get away, which I think now he wants to have happen because he doesn't like this cat, apparently, because it's not affectionate enough to him, which is kind of interesting because when I pick it up, it'll cuddle up to me like crazy, whatnot, but I'm there for a few minutes, and I think he doesn't want it to go get it, to pick it up to cuddle with it. He wants it to come to him to cuddle with him, so who knows. But yeah, so I was like, you can't just leave the door like ajar. Like, that's one, it's letting all kinds of bugs and shit in, which is really weird, but he doesn't see anything wrong with that concept of just leaving his door ajar. Like, he's also the same guy that left his door unlocked with a note on it saying, hey, I left the door open to the UPS driver or FedEx driver who was driving. Please put the record I ordered inside so it doesn't sit out in the sun or get rained on while I'm not here, with a giant full-size sheet of paper that tells everybody who drives by or walks by or looks over in your way that, hey, my house is fully wide open. unsecured and no one's clearly home because left a note for the delivery driver. And we get home and the record's sitting on the front door step because you can't open people's houses and go in. Like, that's not how Amazon and fucking UPS and FedEx and all that shit works. Like, that's not how it is. But so it is what it is. So after that, rotated the dogs through. The new ones didn't eat much. I think they ate like a bite or two. They didn't eat much at all, which the owner said was a good possibility. And everything was chill. Rotated them in and out for the evening, back and forth, and then put them to bed. And holy crap, the little one would not shut up. She's like, oh yeah, he'll bark a little bit and stuff, but just tell him to be quiet, he'll be quiet down. When they were telling him 3 times to be quiet, he did not quiet down for hours. So I turned up my white noise maker and turned up my comedy podcast and said, if I hope I can go to sleep. And I did my best to go to sleep. So, and he eventually shut up, but man, it was not the most joyous. Yeah, the dog's awesome as long as he can see you and like is right there with you and stuff. But the moment you're out of sight, that dog becomes a holy terror. So anyway, that's all I got for now. I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Have yourself a safe, wonderful day. Thanks for watching.